Hi, I'm Mark Toole with 8020service.com. Today's customer service video question comes from Quora. The question is kind of a confusing one. How do I measure the customer experience ROI? And, well, as I said in the little disclaimer here, whatever you want to call it, you're not going to like this answer, the person who asked this question. The answer, really, this question is far too imprecise to give any kind of a real answer to, but it is an interesting thing to think about, and it is something I'm going to talk about here on this video to hopefully help this person get their thinking straight on this stuff, because what they're asking isn't even really a real question. How do I measure the customer experience ROI? Okay, so we all agree that customer experience is important. Customer hears about your product somehow, comes through whatever marketing funnels you have, buys it, receives the product, uses the product, benefits from the product. You want that experience to be as good as possible. If things go wrong, they may have to talk to customer service, but that should be a last resort. Now, this guy's talking about measuring a customer experience ROI. Okay, so better customer experience, good, but he wants a number to put on a spreadsheet, and I don't know where he got this idea of this particular number, but it's not a real thing. ROI, okay, return on investment. So think of all the money you spent doing everything in your business, all your marketing, all your product creation, all your customer service, web design, creating a logo, every single piece of work, activity, money, resources you put into creating your business, creating your product, creating your service, delivering it, providing service if necessary. These are all your investments for customer experience. Customer experience is simply the thing that happens when people buy and use your product. So, what's the return on investment of this? Well, all the money you make. You see how this is a pointless number right there? I mean, basically you take all the money you've ever spent on anything and all the money you've ever made on anything and divide those, and that's your ROI on customer experience. But we can all tell that's a worthless number. It means nothing, and I can't think of any other way to define that. So the point is not to harp on this silly number too much, but to sort of bring things back into perspective for people. Businesses, especially customer service departments, as they grow bigger and more complicated, they add more and more pieces, more complexity, managers, middle managers, micromanagers, meetings of all these managers where someone makes a PowerPoint slide and demands a ROI metric of customer experience because someone in a book somewhere or some silly website or some dumb consultant that spams the comments on Quora told them that was an important thing to have, and what gets measured gets managed, and they just say, hey Bob, can you get me a ROI measure of the customer experience? We'll put that on the PowerPoint slide, and then I'll show it to a bunch of people who don't give a shit because they're just checking their watches to see when they can go take another smoke break and go out in the parking lot and smoke their blueberry pancake flavored vapes. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about putting a number on a thing just to have a number, just to put it on a PowerPoint slide and say, look, boss, customer experience ROI. Okay, so if that's what you want to do, make anything up. They're probably not going to ask you for an explanation at all. If they do, excuse me, if they do, say something, well, that's like the ROI. We put these costs and these benefits of customer experience. No one knows. No one cares. Just collect your little paycheck until they realize this whole thing's a waste of time. But if you're actually in charge of a business, if you're actually running things, if you actually care about how things work, that's the real message of this video, is not to waste your time getting caught up on silly, pointless, meaningless numbers like this. I work with a lot of clients in customer service, customer support, customer experience areas, and it's a natural tendency, even in small businesses. It doesn't have to be a huge, complex thing, but for the people in charge to want to have numbers to look at. This is the number for this is the number for that. And one of the more difficult things, not difficult, but I guess sort of a confrontation that I have to do with some of these people, is talk to them about how just because you can put a number on something, if that number is meaningless, if it's actually like this thing we're talking about here, just a pointless thing, yes, I can calculate that, and I can put it on a thing, and you can look at it, but it doesn't mean anything, and that's the first part. And the second part with these metrics, most of them don't, if they don't mean anything, don't bother with it. And if they mean something but you're not going to do anything about the information, don't bother with it. The only things you should be measuring, putting numbers on, are things that actually mean something, that actually matter, that are not just a nonsense number created out of nothing for no reason, and things that you're actually going to look at and do something specific with. Calculate all these numbers, and then I'll glance at them once a month and go, oh, okay. That's a waste of somebody's time putting all those numbers together if no one's going to do anything with it. You're going to track these things, you need to do something with it. Customer experience, super important. But really, customer experience, like I said, is everything that happens in your business from the customer's perspective. From before he ever hears about any marketing, to when he buys the thing, to when he's a lifetime customer 20 years down the line, has been paying you regularly every month, loving the thing, never talking to customer service because he doesn't need to, because everything works the way it should. How do you measure customer experience ROI? You don't. You just trust that it is important because it's literally the entire experience of the customer in your business. If you're going to have customers, they're going to have an experience. That experience is important because before they become customers, the experience is what makes them become a customer. The experience with the marketing, the sales pages, the products, the reviews, the reputation, all of that. And after they become a customer, it's what makes them stay, it's what makes them renew and continue and buy other products from you in the future. So you do not measure customer experience ROI. You just stop and think briefly for 1 second, and you realize that it's incredibly important and you should do the things necessary to make it good. Now, this doesn't mean it has to be complicated. In fact, it means it probably shouldn't be complicated. My approach, my website is called 8020service.com for a reason. The 80-20 principle, keeping things simple, focusing on the small number of things that have the biggest benefit for the business, for the customer experience, not necessarily just customer service, but customer experience. Because like we said, in an online business especially, the ideal customer experience does not involve customer service at all because there's no need for it. So it is important. I wouldn't waste time trying to put some silly, pointless, ill-defined number on the thing. Just trust that it is one of the most important things in your business if you define it broadly like I did here, and you should spend the time to get it right. Not excessive time, not a bunch of pointless tasks, unnecessary complexity. Identify the things that really matter and focus on those to the exclusion of the things that don't really matter or just add unnecessary complexity. Too much, I could go into a lot of detail on this. I'm going to keep this video short and wrap it up here, but this is why I do these videos every weekday on a customer service question on Quora and on YouTube. So if you have a question, ask me on Quora, ask me in the comments on YouTube, like, thumbs up, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. It's also why I write about this stuff daily on the website 8020service.com, including a daily email that goes out with this stuff, so get on that list there as well. And it's why, if you're really serious about this, I have a guide that I put together that walks you through all of it. But if you're not ready for that right now, that's fine. Just keep in mind, this thing you're asking is not really a thing that can be measured in any legitimate way. And if you're just an employee at a big corporation somewhere and the boss says, "Give me a measure customer experience ROI, please, Bob," you could try to explain this to him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, where's the measure customer experience ROI, Bob?" So make up a number and give him something and collect your paychecks until they stop giving them. But if you're running a business, if you're running customer service, if you're in a position to think and make decisions and have authority over some of this stuff, don't waste your time on pointless numbers like this. Focus on the things that matter. Focus on improving that customer experience, knowing that the ROI is there because the customer experience is basically everything in your business. So that's all for today. I'll wrap this up here. Like I said, do one of these videos every weekday on a customer service question. Today is Friday, so I will be back on Monday with another video.